It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Ebb Tides, another seaweed company that makes and works with seaweed. Probably for, well, seaweed's used in a lot of stuff these days, kind of skincare, and seaweed's used in kind of certainly to clear beer. So this is by, Ebb Tides. And it's a beer made to our own exacting recipe and brewed in the darkest depths of Devon. It's brewed by Many Hands Beer Company, or Brewing Company. I had to have a look on the internet to find out the brewery who brewed this for them. But yeah, they're Ebb Tides Seaweeds Limited, Sidmouth. 4.4% ABV, red ale in a 330 milliliter can. Danger point. And it's got a grid reference here. Maybe you don't go surfing around that way. I don't know. I think by the sound of the can and putting a grid reference point, I don't think I'd be going in the water around there. Unless, I don't know, maybe shipwrecks. Maybe it's terrible for shipwrecks. Now, I've heard of Many Hands. I've heard of Many Hands Brewery. I don't think I've had anything from them. If you have, if you know anything about Many Hands Brewing Company, then please leave a comment in the comments box down below. Because I'm interested to know, I'm interested to kind of find out and hear about this brewery, what they produce. Are they more traditional? Are they producing New World stuff, IPAs, New England IPAs, that sort of thing, porters, stouts? Or are they a little bit more traditional? This beer's got a one finger slightly off white head, good levels of carbonation as the beer's rolling up the glass. It's definitely a red ale. It's definitely not can conditioned. It's quite clear looking for the beer. Looks good. Nice small bubbles in the beer. I won't mention the an old brewer once told me. I think I used that a bit too much recently. People are saying, if you say that story one more time. Let's get the aroma on the beer then. Oh, that's a traditional red ale right there. I love a red ale. I think they're one of the most fantastically brewed beers in the world. I love the malt quality of a red ale, the depth. It's a bit licorice-like. It's very bready, biscuity, nutty, almost berry-like. Like a wild berry, a wild hedgerow berry. A little bit of orange peel, a little bit of lemon, spiciness coming through. Maybe lots of rye. Maybe they've used a lot of rye malt in here. That kind of spicy rye definitely comes through. It smells absolutely fantastic. It really does. One more thing before I get into it. If you have the opportunity to try a red ale, please try it. But anything with a darker, redder malt in the beer. If you see a beer on the beer shelf in your supermarket or your bottle shop, and it's got red IPA, for argument's sake, red IPA or red New England IPA or red ale, pick it up and try it. They're generally splendid. I love a red IPA too. I think the hops, the New World hops and that darker malt clashes fantastically well. Let's get into this. Cheers, everybody. And of course, this has got seaweed in it. Lots of beer have got seaweed in it. It's a way of clearing the beer. It's a way of it's a well used, vegan friendly approach, sorry, to producing and making a beer clear. That's nice. It's nice. It's very refreshing for a red ale. Nicely carbonated. Holding the beer in the mouth, you can feel that carbonation pushing the beer on the inside of the mouth, releasing more of the flavour. And that flavour is of course, there's some licorice, there's a touch of plum, there's a touch of, dare I say it, prune, spicy, peppery, biscuity, malty, you know, like them really lovely. I always go to Asda and I pick up their extra special, like, seeded bread. Like, I think they call linseeds or something, and you pick up this dark loaf of bread in Asda, and it's really quite nice. You've got to cut it yourself, make a nice kind of sausage and bacon sandwich with this wonderful dark loaf. But you get that kind of, all of the seeds and all the nuttiness and all that kind of dark, lovely brown bread flavour. You're getting that in the beer. Because of course, beer and bread, they go hand in hand, don't they? They go hand in hand. When the brewster finished baking, whatever malt she had left over, she would make beer with. And vice versa, if she was brewing that day and she had some malt left over, she would make some bread with it. Wonderful thing. I mean, that was going on 200-300 years ago. A brewster was a name for, not a brewer, a brewster was a name for a female brewer. But you can imagine it, you can see it in the beer. You can almost see that dark Asda extra special brown bread with the seeds on it. You can almost see it in the beer, can't you? Look at the lacing on the glass. Look at the quality of this brew. Really good. And I like that tickle of carbonation. I like that tickle of carbonation because it pushes the beer on the inside of the mouth. It releases more of that flavour. So where will I drink this beer then? We're actually in the middle of our British summer here. We've had a lot of rain, which I'm quite happy about because I'm a gardener. But I think this type of beer is perfect for, like, today, really. It's overcast. It's a bit humid. It's a bit muggy. You could still quite possibly light a barbecue and sit out in the garden and cook some food outside, and you could just crack a beer whilst you're doing so. I think this is the perfect beer for that. In terms of tasting the seaweed, I think it's a very difficult thing to pick up, especially in a red ale where the rye malt is quite dominant and spicy and peppery. It's nicely balanced between that malt over here, that little bit of kind of sweet malt, and that bitterness from the hops over there. But it's quite difficult to pick up a seaweed in a beer. Danger Point is a location on the beautiful East Devon coast from where we harvest seaweeds for our wonderful food and drink products. Delicately smoked malts with a spicy depth of dulse seaweed and a crisp, dry hop finish. Enjoy with steak, burgers, spicy cuisine, seafood and barbecues. There we go. They've even mentioned barbecues themselves. I like it. Yeah, it's a lovely beer. Thank you very much to Ebb Tides for deciding to send me this beer. I'm glad you have. The collaboration with More Beer Company was terrific. That was a really good beer too. I like it. It's an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.